God says, "My child, pause for a moment and quiet the noise around you, because this is not about panic and it is not about fear, it is about awareness." When I say, "only minutes left," I am not speaking about a clock that is about to punish you. I am speaking about a window of clarity that is opening inside your heart right now. There are moments in life when everything feels ordinary and routine, and then there are moments when you can sense that something is shifting beneath the surface. You may not see it yet, you may not fully understand it yet, but you can feel it. That feeling is not anxiety, it is anticipation. It is the awareness that you are standing at the edge of change. For a long time you have been praying quietly, hoping silently, wondering when things would finally move in your favor. You asked for direction. You asked for confirmation. You asked for a breakthrough. But breakthroughs rarely arrive with loud announcements. They begin as inner realizations. They begin as subtle courage rising inside you. They begin as a decision forming in your heart before it ever becomes visible in your circumstances. What is life-changing about this moment is not an event happening outside of you, it is the awakening happening within you. God says, "My child, something powerful is being released not from the sky but from within your spirit. You are being released from old thinking. You are being released from doubt that has followed you for too long. You are being released from patterns that kept you smaller than your true potential. The minutes I speak of represent readiness. You have reached a point where continuing the same way would feel heavier than stepping into growth. That realization is powerful. That realization is life-changing. You may have noticed recently that your tolerance for negativity has decreased. You no longer entertain conversations that drain you. You no longer feel comfortable pretending that everything is fine when it is not. You no longer feel excited by temporary distractions. Instead, you crave stability, purpose, and direction. This shift is not random. It is preparation. Preparation always comes before elevation. The reason this moment feels important is because you are finally aligned enough to recognize opportunity when it appears. God says, "Do not miss this by overthinking it. Do not miss this by waiting for a dramatic sign. Do not miss this by doubting your own growth." The life-changing shift approaching you may look simple at first. It may be a decision you finally commit to. It may be a boundary you confidently set. It may be a habit you discipline yourself to maintain. It may be a conversation you have been postponing. But that simple action will create momentum. Momentum is powerful. Momentum transforms ordinary effort into extraordinary progress. There is also something else unfolding that you must understand. You are becoming more aware of your worth. Not in an arrogant way, but in a grounded and mature way. You are beginning to see that you deserve peace. You deserve clarity. You deserve opportunities that match your effort. When self-worth rises, your standards rise with it. When standards rise, your environment begins to adjust. This adjustment is part of the life-changing process. Some people may not understand your shift. Some may feel surprised by your new firmness. But growth is not meant to be negotiated. Growth is meant to be embraced. God says, The minutes left are symbolic of urgency in decision, not urgency in fear. There are seasons when you wait patiently and there are seasons when you move decisively. This is a decisive season. Not rushed, not reckless, but intentional. Intentional action creates direction. Direction creates progress. Progress creates confidence. And confidence opens doors you once believed were closed. You have been preparing for this without even realizing it. Every lesson you learned, every challenge you endured, every mistake you reflected on has built the strength required for this next level. As you continue listening, let this truth settle deeply within you. Nothing meaningful will be lost if you move with awareness. What will be lost is hesitation. What will be lost is doubt. What will be lost is the smaller version of you that was afraid to step forward. The powerful message being released is simple but transformative: you are ready. Ready to take responsibility for your future. Ready to protect your peace. Ready to commit to consistency instead of waiting for motivation. Ready to become disciplined instead of distracted. God says, "My child, when you finish hearing this, do not return to autopilot. Sit for a moment. Reflect honestly. What have you been postponing that you know must change? What action would move you closer to the person you want to become? Take that step today. Not tomorrow. Today. Even a small step counts. The life-changing shift does not require perfection, it requires commitment." God says, "My child, as you continue listening, understand that the urgency you feel is not pressure placed upon you, it is potential rising within you. There are moments in life when everything seems quiet on the outside but internally something begins to rearrange itself, priorities shift, clarity sharpens, and the excuses that once felt convincing no longer satisfy you. This is one of those moments. The minutes left represent the closing of your old mindset and the opening of a stronger, more intentional version of yourself. You have spent enough time doubting your readiness, waiting for ideal circumstances, and postponing decisions that you already know are necessary. What is approaching is not chaos, it is alignment, and alignment feels powerful because it removes confusion. You may have noticed recently that you are thinking differently about your future. The goals that once felt distant now feel possible. The habits that once seemed harmless now feel limiting. The people you once tried to impress no longer influence your choices the same way. This internal shift is not random. It is preparation for elevation. Elevation requires a cleaner mindset, a stronger routine, and a clearer sense of direction. You have been slowly building all three without even realizing it. Every time you reflected instead of reacted, you strengthened your wisdom. Every time you chose discipline over distraction, you strengthened your foundation. Every time you walked away from negativity, you strengthened your peace. These small choices are creating something life-changing. God says, do not underestimate quiet transformation. Loud change attracts attention, but quiet change builds stability. Stability is what sustains growth. When the life-changing moment unfolds, it may not look dramatic to others, but it will feel profound to you because you will recognize it as the result of your maturity. You will see clearly how your patience created this opportunity. You will understand how your lessons shaped your confidence. You will realize that you were not being delayed, you were being prepared. Preparation always feels slower than the outcome, but without it the outcome cannot last. There is something else you must recognize. The powerful message being released is about responsibility. You have reached a point where you can no longer blame timing, circumstances, or other people for where you are headed next. You are capable now. Capable of planning better. Capable of managing your emotions. Capable of setting boundaries. Capable of committing long-term. That capability is what makes this moment important. When capability meets awareness, action must follow. Action is what transforms potential into reality. Do not let this awareness fade into another ordinary day. Anchor it with one decisive step. God says, "My child, the life-changing shift approaching you is tied to consistency. Not excitement, not sudden luck, but steady commitment." You may feel inspired right now, but inspiration must turn into structure. Structure creates results. Results create confidence. Confidence changes how you move through every area of your life. Imagine waking up with clarity instead of hesitation. Imagine speaking with certainty instead of doubt. Imagine building slowly instead of starting and stopping repeatedly. That image is not distant. It begins with how you handle this moment. As you move forward, remember that growth sometimes feels lonely at first. When you change your standards, not everyone will understand. When you protect your time, some may question you. When you focus deeply, distractions may try to pull you back. Stay steady. The minutes left represent the final hesitation before commitment. After commitment, momentum begins. Momentum makes discipline easier. Discipline makes success sustainable. This is the cycle you are stepping into. God says, do not miss this by waiting for perfection. Perfection is not required for progress. You will make adjustments along the way. You will refine your strategy. You will learn from small mistakes. But movement is essential. Remaining still when you know it is time to move creates regret. Moving forward with intention creates growth. Choose growth. Choose courage. Choose the version of yourself that your future depends on. Let this message settle deeply within you. Something life-changing is approaching because you are finally aligned enough to handle it. Your mindset is stronger. Your awareness is sharper. Your patience is deeper. These qualities are not accidental, they were developed through experience. Now let them guide your next step. Do not rush, but do not delay. Act thoughtfully, but act confidently. The window of clarity is open. Step through it. God says, "My child, if you are still listening, it is because something inside you knows this is not ordinary motivation. This is a turning point in awareness, and turning points do not always come with noise, they come with clarity. You have reached a level of understanding where you can no longer pretend that you do not see what needs to change. You can no longer say you are unaware of your potential. You can no longer ignore the quiet voice that has been guiding you toward discipline, focus, and responsibility. The minutes left are symbolic of hesitation ending and commitment beginning. When hesitation ends, movement begins. When movement begins, transformation becomes inevitable. You have been preparing for this moment through experiences you once called setbacks. Every delay taught you patience. Every disappointment strengthened your emotional control. Every mistake sharpened your judgment. You thought those moments were obstacles, but they were actually training. Training for stability. Training for maturity. Training for leadership over your own life. Now that you are stronger, the opportunities approaching you will match that strength. Life responds differently when you carry yourself differently. And you are carrying yourself with more awareness now. God says, the life-changing shift ahead is deeply connected to your daily habits. Not grand gestures, not sudden leaps, but the small decisions you make consistently. Waking up with intention instead of scrolling mindlessly. Planning your day instead of reacting to it. Saving instead of spending impulsively. Speaking calmly instead of emotionally. These actions seem simple, but when repeated, they build a powerful structure around your future. Structure creates stability. Stability creates growth. Growth creates freedom. The freedom you desire is not far away. It is built through disciplined consistency starting now. You may feel a sense of seriousness about your life that you did not feel before. That seriousness is not fear, it is maturity. You are realizing that your time is valuable. Your energy is valuable. Your focus is valuable. You no longer want to waste days in distraction or weeks in indecision. This realization is powerful. Many people take years to understand the value of their own time. You are understanding it now. That understanding is the powerful message being released. God says, do not let this awareness fade after this moment. Anchor it with action. Choose one area of your life that needs immediate improvement and begin today. If your routine lacks structure, create one. If your finances lack clarity, organize them. If your health lacks attention, prioritize it. If your goals lack planning, write them down. Action removes anxiety. Planning replaces confusion. Movement eliminates regret. The only way to miss this life-changing moment is to ignore the responsibility that comes with awareness. There is also a deeper layer to this transformation. You are learning to trust yourself. In the past, you doubted your decisions. You second-guessed your instincts. You waited for approval before moving forward. Now you are becoming more self-assured. Not arrogant, but grounded. You are realizing that you are capable of leading your own path. Self-trust is powerful. When you trust yourself, fear loses control. When fear loses control, courage becomes natural. And when courage becomes natural, growth accelerates. God says, my child, the minutes left are the final reminder before your next level begins. This is not about dramatic events. It is about internal alignment. When your thoughts align with your goals, your actions align with your discipline, and your discipline aligns with your vision, progress becomes unstoppable. You are entering that alignment now. Protect it. Guard it. Strengthen it. Do not allow old habits to pull you backward. You are beyond them now. As you step into this new chapter, remember that consistency will feel ordinary at first. You may not see instant results. But stay steady. Compounding works quietly. Day by day, your small improvements will build noticeable change. In a few months, you will look back and realize how much this moment mattered. Not because something magical happened instantly, but because you decided to take control. That decision is life-changing. God says, stand tall in your responsibility. Walk confidently in your discipline. Move forward with clarity. The powerful message released to you is simple but transformative. You are ready to lead your own growth. Do not miss it by delaying. Do not miss it by doubting. Step forward now with intention and focus. God says, my child, if you are still here listening carefully, it is because this message has touched something deeper than motivation. It has touched responsibility, and responsibility is the bridge between where you are and where you are meant to be. You have heard about awareness, about discipline, about alignment, but now it is time to understand the weight and beauty of commitment. Commitment is what separates temporary inspiration from permanent transformation. Many people feel inspired for a moment and then return to old patterns. You are not meant to return to old patterns. You are meant to evolve beyond them. The minutes left are symbolic of the last moments of your hesitation. After hesitation comes decision. After decision comes direction. After direction comes measurable growth. You have spent enough time waiting for ideal circumstances. You have spent enough time hoping that confidence would appear before action. Confidence is not something you wait for, it is something you build by keeping promises to yourself. Each time you follow through on what you planned, your self-trust increases. Self-trust strengthens your identity. Identity shapes your habits. Habits shape your future. This chain reaction is powerful, and it begins with one intentional decision. The powerful message being released to you is not dramatic, it is foundational. You are capable of more than you have been demonstrating. That truth may feel heavy, but it is freeing. It means your future is not limited by your past. It means your growth is not capped by your previous mistakes. It means your next chapter can be written differently because you are thinking differently now. God says, there is a difference between knowing what to do and actually doing it. You already know what needs to change. You already know where you have been inconsistent. You already know which distractions steal your time. Awareness without execution creates frustration. Execution without perfection creates progress. Choose progress. Stop waiting for the perfect mood. Stop waiting for the perfect day. Start with the resources you already have. Start with the discipline you can practice today. Even small improvement compounds over time. 5 focused minutes become 30. 30 disciplined days become a new routine. A new routine becomes a new identity. A new identity creates a new life. You may fear that if you fully commit, you will lose comfort or familiarity. But what you gain is far greater. You gain clarity. You gain stability. You gain self-respect. Comfort often keeps you average. Commitment elevates you beyond average. You were not designed to live in cycles of starting and stopping. You were designed to build steadily. The life-changing shift approaching you is not an event that happens to you, it is a standard you hold yourself to from this moment forward. Standards define direction. Direction determines destiny. God says, protect your energy fiercely. Not in anger, not in isolation, but in awareness. Choose carefully what you give your attention to. Attention is currency. Where you invest it determines what grows in your life. If you invest in discipline, discipline grows. If you invest in distraction, distraction grows. If you invest in negativity, negativity multiplies. This moment is about conscious investment. Invest in habits that strengthen you. Invest in learning. Invest in planning. Invest in rest when necessary. Balanced discipline is sustainable discipline. There will be days when progress feels slow. Do not interpret slow as failure. Slow and steady builds endurance. Endurance builds resilience. Resilience sustains long-term success. When doubt whispers that nothing is changing, remind yourself that growth often happens invisibly before it becomes visible. Roots grow underground before the tree appears above ground. You are strengthening your roots right now. When results appear, they will be supported by that unseen strength. God says, from this day forward, carry yourself differently. Walk with intention. Speak with calm certainty. Think long-term instead of reacting short-term. When challenges appear, handle them with strategy instead of emotion. When opportunities appear, approach them with preparation instead of impulse. This balanced mindset will protect everything you build. You are stepping into a season where discipline becomes natural, where focus becomes habitual, and where self-respect becomes your standard. The minutes left have now transformed into momentum. Momentum begins the moment you decide that you will not return to autopilot. Let today be the day you mark as your shift. Not because something external forced you, but because something internal awakened you. That awakening is powerful. That awakening is life-changing. Do not miss it by falling back into old patterns. Seal it with action. Seal it with consistency. Seal it with discipline. If this message has stayed with you from beginning to end, comment, I commit fully to my next level, below. Like this video if you are ready to replace hesitation with steady discipline, and subscribe if you are determined to protect your focus, build your future intentionally, and never again ignore the moment that calls you to rise higher.